What's up, slime ball?
What's up, Moon Knight?
Moon Knight.
Yeah, the new Moon Knight dropped. I was just watching it.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's why I needed extra time. You got to remember there's 80 comic book kid, and all of a sudden 80 comic book show dropped. I got to watch it.
Was that English?
I don't know. It's Excited John. My teenage comic book geek John. 80 comic book. Got to watch 80 comic book drop.
Blah, 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 blah. I just saw on Twitter that the first reviews of Morbius are rolling in, and they're terrible.
Well, that's interesting too, because like one of my favorite covers of the Moon Knight comic is Moon Knight with Morbius on the cover.
That's weird that I would say that.
Yeah, it is very strange.
Yeah, it has like a 19% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. That's like the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm interested in this Moon Knight, not only because I used to read it as a kid, but I'm really interested in this day and age and how they tackle. You probably don't know anything about Moon Knight.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, he's a superhero, but his mind, the easiest way to explain it is his mind is somewhat cohabitated by an ancient Egyptian god of vengeance.
Sure.
But he also has 2 or 3 other different personalities. So he's basically a multiple personality disorder.
Okay.
So I think it's interesting to see how they're going to handle what people actually, like in the 80s, to make a comic book character about someone who had multiple personalities. Like, I don't think they were really taking into consideration that people are affected by multiple personality disorder.
I don't know.
You know, it's a different era. So watching them handle it is going to be interesting.
What is it on?
Disney.
Is it Moon Knight like night or Moon Knight like a night?
Moon like a night, the night of the moon, KN.
Okay. Thank you for knowing what I was saying.
Yes.
I have no energy right now. I like completely lost everything. I gotta go to bed.
I'm just in the middle of like, I feel like I'm just watching all these premieres drop. 2 movies and a Moon Knight in 2 days.
I know that yesterday we went to an advanced screening of You Won't Be Alone, which is like a new folk horror witch movie that comes out this Friday. And then tonight we went to a super advanced screening of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, the new Nick Cage movie, which doesn't come out for 23 days.
That's crazy.
I know. So
what's even crazier is there were less than 23 people in the theater to see the Nick Cage movie.
Well, for both.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very empty screenings, very niche interests. Witch movies and Nick Cage movies.
Right.
So yeah, You Won't Be Alone. We both liked it.
Yes. John Tenney, thumbs up. It's for me. I like it.
I liked it too. I wouldn't say it's not like okay. I don't know how to describe those kind of movies because it's not like, ooh, I'm enjoying myself. Like I wasn't fucking enjoying myself. Like it's grimy and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think that in my brain, because we were talking after we saw it, like it's a very art housey type of film.
Extremely.
And I think for people who loved The Witch, they should be prepared for a movie that's a slower burn than The Witch.
Yeah, it is. It's like I made a tweet calling it the Encino Man of folk horror witch movies. It's like a coming of age / a coming from no age, coming from ground zero of age, and then having to figure shit out.
Yeah, but we both agreed that like the good thing about the movie is that they allow you, like the main character is learning and you learn through the film. Like things aren't explained to you, you figure them out.
Yeah, yes. It wasn't. We've been through a slew of movies lately where it's like over explained, over dialogue, just like, okay, like can I get through the 3rd act of the movie without you holding my hand the whole time? Like let it wrap up on its own. Don't fucking, it's hard to talk about what this movie's about because I'm glad we went in not knowing much. There's some body horror in it, which I don't love. We've been through that before. I don't love it. Also, I don't know why I always forget that in folk horror movies, there's always fucking dead animals. And every time I'm like, oh shit, I fucking hate this. And it happens every fucking time.
Yeah, trigger warning. It starts with dead animals. Yeah,
trigger warning, dead animals, and trigger warning
body horror.
And assault.
Assault, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I was appreciative though that, I mean, especially in the horror genre, sometimes they go out of your way to fucking sicken you with assault scenes. I would say these are on the low end. They didn't like ruin your life with it. It was
it's not 70s assault. It's not I Spit on Your Grave, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Last House on the Left, like not that type of stuff.
Yes, it was implied for the sake of like the story, but it wasn't like okay, I really want to leave now. Like
Yeah.
I was comparing it to this movie. I think you say it Hagazusa. It's like a foreign gross folk horror witch movie. It was one of I just hate it. I fucking hate it. It's one of the most uncomfortable, worst, shitty, fucking gross movies I've ever seen. So I was like, I felt like this movie was like the better version of that movie, if that makes any sense. I'm sure
Yeah.
nobody's fucking seen it. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it was heartwarming. There was some heartwarming parts. There's this part where she's kind of weird and she's trying to figure out how to be a human. And there's this cute part where she sees people crying and she's like, how did they get the eye water?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that
It's
was so
good.
cute to me. I
Yeah.
know. And then there's a part where she's like standing next to these girls and they're all giggling and she doesn't even know how to laugh. So she's like mimicking a human laugh. It's like it's like creepy, but it's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because the thing is about that experience, like I was saying, like she learns and so we get to learn at the same time. But it's interesting what you said because she is doing in a very brief span of time, like what babies do. Like babies see us laughing, so they laugh. We think it's cute because they're babies, but what if a 16-year-old started to laugh just because we were laughing? You'd be like, oh, that's odd.
I know. I know. That's why I called it like Encino Man, because it's kind of like this weird witch person who like doesn't know
Is
anything.
Encino Man caveman Brandon Fraser?
Yes.
Is that where you learned about cavemen and dinosaurs?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But another thing, I will say another drawback to this movie, and I'm going to say the movie title again. It's called "You Won't Be Alone" because we're just talking forever about it. But there's a lot of fucking baby crying in it, and I literally can't handle baby crying. It makes me like physically violent. Web crawlers recently was talking about misophonia and things that like literally make your brain like crazy. Like baby crying makes me fucking crazy. I don't know how parents have babies. I don't know how you hear a baby cry all day long. Like, don't you just want to run out of your house?
I mean, that's the evolved thing, right? Like you're supposed to feel certain ways when babies are crying in distress, like your brain has evolved to know a baby is in distress. When a baby is making gurgly sounds, you know it's happening. Like those things are built into us. So then I wonder what happens to people like you and I who like are like, get those babies out of my life.
Yes, it doesn't make me want to help. It makes me want to leave the state.
Yeah.
Like I need to get away. I fucking hate it. I hate it. And that's fine. Like I'm an aunt now. My brother has a baby. Like when he's on his he FaceTimes me a lot and the baby will make cute noises and wave at me. Like I think the baby's fucking cute. But if I had to listen to that all day, like I don't understand how people don't go a little bit crazy. Like you can't just hear a repeated noise for hours and not get crazy.
There's I don't know if it's really good research. I know that research has been done, but there is some research to show that over the centuries, the mew of cats is now tonally the same as like babies wanting food cry. Like cats have figured out how to, when they go meow in a certain way, you know, in your brain, they're triggering that same response that from a baby, which makes you want to take care of them, which makes you want to feed them. I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I could listen to that all day, but I can't listen to fucking baby. But yeah, so there's a lot of baby crying in this movie.
I mean, I'll eat a baby.
I mean, I know you talk about eating babies because you're a psycho, but no, it's very beautiful. It's very, I guess it was that the person who made this, I think it's their like debut movie. So it's pretty impressive for a first movie.
Also, we should say it's subtitled.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yes. So yeah, it's subtitled and not familiar to me. We were saying the whole time, like, and we realized after what it was because I fucking posted it. I posted a picture of the time it's supposed to be in and the place it's supposed to be in. And the whole time we're like, where is this? When is this? Because we're idiots. So anyway, but during the movie, it was not familiar to me, the time, the language, and I don't know. Like usually when you watch a subtitled movie, there's some kind of something in your brain where the language is familiar. And this was like, this could be a fake language. I wasn't even convinced it was a real language. I wasn't. Like, did they make this up?
I was. That, like I said, it was hitting for me, like in my brain, I was picking up some type of weird, like Slavic region, like my Polish relatives that I grew up listening to, I was hearing that kind of flip in their language. And I was like, this has got to be some kind of Slavic language.
Yeah, I was thinking too, just because it's so fucking weird and like dark and niche and subtitled, I've never like been sitting in a movie theater and like felt the like palpable feeling of, I felt like literally 80% of the theater was going to get up and leave. Like it was mostly old white people.
Well, 20
loud.
minutes in, that group of Americans came in, like talking and laughing and sloshing their beers around. And I didn't know I was
Yeah.
going to have to read this movie.
Yeah. I would say maybe, what do you think, like 8 people walked out?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so there were some walkouts, which they actually made it a long ass time, surprisingly. But yeah, I was very aware that I'm like, this movie was made for like me and Tenney and no one else in this entire room. So if you like dragging woodsy,
Folk horror,
yes,
uncomfortable witchiness.
yes, it's for you. If you like Final Destination and the new Texas Chainsaw, probably not for you.
That I will say, strangely enough, and this will be the last thing I say on it, strangely enough, the journey that it takes you through, I don't know if this is considered a spoiler, but I'll say it, is eventually an uplifting film.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like it didn't, yeah, it wasn't like, and that's what I didn't like about that Hagazusa movie. It was just like wretched, and then it would just continue to be wretched, and it was awful. It was the most awful feeling, and then it ended awful. I'm like, oh, it's not redeemable at all. This movie's awful. Anyway, today we saw the Nick Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is like literally just like a joke movie about Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage. That's literally all it's supposed to be about. But it does have a story, but it's supposed to be, it's very self-aware of it just being like Nick Cage fan time movie.
Yes, and it's stories within stories, but they're all stories about Nick Cage. The whole thing is about Nick Cage.
Literally. It's him, he's himself, he plays himself, and there's some other weird shit that goes on. So you
and versions of himself.
And versions of himself. And then it like takes a weird action movie turn, which is kind of funny, but like it's hard to explain. I don't want to like give away the parts that make it fun. It's just like obvious. Oh, and then I was saying on the way home, like again, the screening audience was weird as fuck. Everybody was old as fuck. You could tell that nobody in there except like maybe me was like an extreme Nick Cage fan. So a lot of the like beginning of the movie, there was these silly, he would just be fucking so weird. And I would start laughing like I don't know, like his delivery on everything, it was just weird and perfect. So I kept laughing. Nobody in the fucking room was laughing. So we were saying that we feel like if you went to go see this on like a weekend in a theater with a bunch of Nick Cage heads, like it would be so fucking fun because they would laugh at literally everything he does in the whole movie.
Yes.
But yeah, like you were saying about You Won't Be Alone, this movie too was surprisingly heartwarming.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't just like all action and Nick Cage being weird. It wrapped up and it was cute. It's fun. We were kind of talking about how we both kind of judge a movie by if we would watch it again, and said that we would both watch both again.
Yeah, and I think with the Nick Cage movie, I mean, I tend to overthink things, but like I think in this movie they're really trying to get you to overthink things, but the more that you sit with it, like I wonder how many people will, and I'm not trying to spoil stuff, but I wonder how many people will have debates over when the movie actually begins.
Yeah.
Which I say, and people who haven't seen it won't know really what that means. But I mean, it's very meta. It's very self-aware, like you were saying. And then there are, references within references within references. And you have never seen, we were talking in the theater, like I was saying that this is almost like a reboot of JCVD. And for anybody that's never seen that, like I think people should watch that movie too. I think that Jean-Claude Van Damme actually should have won some kind of like Academy Award or Golden Globe or something for it because it's super fantastic. And JCVD is just about Jean-Claude Van Damme, aging action star, goes to the bank and the bank gets robbed and everybody in the bank wants him to be Jean-Claude Van Damme, the action hero, but he's just a fucking actor.
Yeah.
So 2 thumbs up for 2 movies.
Yeah, we did good.
We did
didn't have
good.
to pay for anything. Everything was free.
And so far what I've seen of Moon Knight, another up.
I'm not going to watch it, but I'm happy for you.
Do you like Oscar Isaac?
Oh, who doesn't? He's a fucking mega babe.
Well, he's Moon Knight.
I know he's in a bunch of shit I don't care about watching. It sucks. Can he be in a horror movie? He's in Star Wars bullshit. He's in that. Like, can he just be in a hot horror movie? Can he be in Magic Mike too?
With John Cena and Channing Tatum.
Oh God, yeah. You said on the way out of the movies that you get Channing Tatum and John Cena mixed up. That's the most fucked up thing you've ever said.
They're both just big bro Americans.
Yeah, but one's like heavy dad energy and one's like cute, and they're like 20 years apart.
I don't know. I just see big goofy dudes and they all seem the same to me. Like John Cena and Channing Tatum also fall into that like Chris Pratt world. Like it's these kind of just like blondish big doofuses.
Yeah, generic American boys.
Yes.
fucking hate Chris Pratt. This is also our side quest on What's Up Weirdo podcast, is to talk shit about Chris Pratt like every 6 episodes. I fucking hate that guy. You're gonna make me talk about the fucking thing, and I don't want to talk about it, so just let it rip.
Talk about what?
The fucking thing that happened this weekend on TV.
What happened on TV?
The slap.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
You literally said you were going to make me debate it, and I said by the time we record
I didn't
this,
say that I was going to make you debate it. I said that if we were going to talk about it, we were going to talk about it. We don't have to talk about it.
I literally don't want to. First of all, by the time I woke up the next day, I was already fucking sick of it, and then I had already tweeted about it, and I had to handle this shit show of answer tweets under my tweet. And then I was like, and then we were getting into it about it. I go, Tenney, by the time we record this, I'm never going to hear about this ever again. So I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we're not going to talk about it.
Oh, fucking stupid. Okay, so I had this client on, what the fuck day is it today? Wednesday? I had her on Monday. Like, okay, part of me feels bad when I talk about this shit, because, like, you know that thing where you, like, whatever the fuck it is, when you tell a doctor something and they're not allowed to repeat it, like, that's kind of what I feel like. Even though I'm just a tattooer, people tell me crazy stories all the time, but I'm like, am I allowed
Patient-doctor confidentiality? I don't think that exists between tattooers.
No, it doesn't, but it makes me feel like that. Like, and I'm sure hairdressers, like, repeat crazy stories that they've heard all day, too. So just
that's why you go to the hairdresser, to hear other people's crazy stories.
I know. So these people tell me these stories that are so crazy, and, like, part of my brain is like, I feel bad, but, like, literally I have to tell somebody this, so I'm gonna fucking tell you. So she said my client is sick of being at her job and she wants to leave soon, but she's like, I feel bad though, because my coworker will be all by herself and she's had a fucked up time lately. And then she just starts telling me about it. I'm like, okay. So her coworker has 3 kids, like, had a super nice marriage. I think she's like near 40. So she was with her husband for quite a while. She said one day out of nowhere, her husband just, like, came in the house or something. And he was like, I can't live here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. I can't do this anymore. Like, I just don't want to live here. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. Like, literally was just like, I can't be doing this anymore. I can't be married. And she didn't see it coming at all. She's like, we had a beautiful marriage. We have these kids. I don't know what the fuck's going on. So they get divorced, but it hadn't been that long. Like, he was in a new house. But I want to say, I seriously think the lady said like 3 months or something. So the guy was plugging in an extension cord in the fucking snow, electrocuted himself and died. And then after they did whatever, and I don't know why they would do an autopsy if you got electrocuted, but they found out after that he had a fucking brain tumor. And that's why he just, like, changed his attitude, or changed, like, his, like, that wasn't him talking. They were trying to say, like, they think it made him make that decision to just fuck his whole life and leave.
Right.
And then I was asking her, I'm like, did they find out how much longer he would have had with the brain tumor if he didn't electrocute himself? And she's like, no, they don't know. Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, it's really weird.
I know.
The brain is such a weird mechanism, because the whole thing is, and I've talked about this in lectures before, like, the brain is a gland in your head, right? And it secretes chemicals. And the whole point of your brain is to help you go to the bathroom, keep your organs running, blink your eyes, help you eat food. It's not meant to ponder questions of the nature of reality, figure out love and death and consciousness and the mysteries of, like, it was never meant for those type of things. It was meant to, like, I'm gonna look around, I'm gonna eat some food, I'm gonna poop, I'm gonna have some sex, I'm gonna run around and eat some food again. Like, that's what it was meant to do. It wasn't meant to, like, look at Twitter all day, look at your phone all day, contemplate societal politics, be married, have kids, make sure your kids go to college, what shoes are they wearing? Like, that is, like, brain overload.
Yeah, that's fucked.
And so when something in there is maybe not correct, if you've got a little growth or some pressure, like, who knows how radically it can change all of those things that you're now making the brain try and do. I mean, I think about it all the time. I mean, you have to remember, like, you know, there's a chemical change in my mother's body and she didn't know who I was.
I know. After that stuff came out today about Bruce Willis, it was like, it stuns me that, like, more isn't being done faster to figure out cognitive breakdowns in humans. Like,
yeah.
It shouldn't be happening that early to people, especially people who literally go from, like, almost fully fine to, like, not fine. Like, that's crazy. Your body's still fine. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I need it. What else?
Are you drinking anything?
No.
Oh, I was thinking about getting a drink.
You can get a drink.
All right, I'll get a drink. Vamp.
I don't know what to say.
You know what vamping is? Vamp.
Yeah, I know what vamping is. Okay, I'm just gonna talk because Tenney walked away to make a drink. Let's see. So I read this story recently about Wingate's Grove in West, I'm going to say this wrong, I'm sure it says like West Houghton or West Houghton, England. It's this place. I don't think it's a condo. I don't know if it's a house. I think it looked.
Talking about.
I didn't even fucking get to get into it because I can't talk and I
All
can't
right,
tell
that's
story.
fine.
Cool. So anyway, this place in England, it looked like a row house. I read this story recently that it was haunted by a poltergeist throughout the 1990s. And now people who buy the home have to sign a waiver, or any home on the street who buy a home anywhere on the street have to sign a waiver. And in the waiver, it says no Ouija boards and no black magic and no young children. The place that was haunted, I guess, has oil that drips down the walls. And a toddler once said that it was talking to a little man. And people said they hear like key sounds rattling and walking and voice imitating.
It's called what?
Wingate's Grove in West, I don't know, think I'm saying this right, West Houghton or West Houghton, England.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing in England where they're making people sign paperwork about ghosts.
I know. Can you imagine? Like, move on the street, not even in the house.
That doesn't sound copacetic to me. I wouldn't make people do that.
Well, you just make a move on in there?
Yeah, you can't prove nothing. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would appreciate a heads up, but
I mean, here's the thing, right? And this is what I've tried. I mean, this is another thing I've talked about in lectures for 30 fucking years, which is if you have a house that's so fucking haunted, like it's in this one, they're making people sign paperwork and shit. It's so fucking haunted, right? Oh, it's fucking all this stuff. If it's that fucking haunted, literally, it would take a month putting scientists in there, and you would have absolute world-changing, life-altering evidence of life after death proof. It would never be argued about ever again. But no matter how haunted a place is, that still to this day hasn't happened.
That's like what Terrified is about, that horror movie that I'm obsessed with from 2017. It's called Terrified, but it's Spanish movie, so it's called Aterrados. Anyway, there's like a haunted block, and then they have these 3 different like scientists or psycho researchers, whatever the fuck, come in and they all stay in a different house and do their own findings, but it's all on the same street, and it's so fucking scary.
Because it's
good.
It's scary because it's not real.
You shush. But then also you would have like what you were just saying about, okay, you could prove it definitely, but then also with any ghosty stuff, any alien stuff, any creature stuff, whatever, even if, especially with what we just went through with the pandy, people don't believe stuff unless they saw it for themselves. So even if scientists said this is clear and whatever the fuck evidence, somebody would be like, well, I gotta see it. Don't believe it. I didn't see it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you'd have doubters, but at least you'd have some scientific data stored somewhere instead of like, people are like, what's the best ghost data we have available? And like currently at the time, I mean, there's a few doctors, whether it be Brian David Josephson or Rupert Sheldrake, like people who actually study that stuff. But the majority of research is being done by Larry and his ghost group. You know what I mean?
Big Larry.
Shout out to Larry, whoever you are, if you're listening. Sorry, if your name's Larry, I didn't, no slights meant. By the way, you know what we got today?
What?
We got new personal folklore from createmagicstudios.com.
That's the second one?
That's the second one.
But I get some, is there extras this time? I get some of the extras. You got all the extras last time.
Oh, there's extras. You get extras.
Okay, good. I share his art literally almost every single day in our Instagram story at WUW Pod. I put his work in our story, and it's beautiful and like thoughtful. It makes you feel the feels. It's like not only cute little creatures, but it makes your heart go, that's so nice. It does, doesn't it? Like every day I try not to be such a fanboy, and I'm like, oh, I already shared like 2 drawings this week, and then I'll do one that's like,
because you like to see a cute Mothman and a cute little wizard rabbit.
I know, with like a nice little word thing that says like believe in yourself and find your fellow weirdos, and I'm like, share.
Yep.
I like can't help it. I do it every time.
There's something about that artwork and the writing style that very much harkens, like it touches a part of my heart that is Frog and Toad are friends.
No, they are. I know.
Yeah.
Me too. I know. It's like everything's connected. That's so weird that you said that, because I wanted to bring up another thing. There's like weirdly, and I'm sure it's just showing them to me because that's my whole shit, but there's like a community of pet psychics on TikTok. Pause for people to giggle. I don't fucking care. Anyway, this lady the other day said something and it made me super happy. And she said, so most people think that when your pets pass over, they wait there for us. Like you're just chilling there waiting until we get there, right? But she said, but actually they're immediately joined by our higher self. And it like made my whole heart explode. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Like we're not separate. We're still together because I'm up
Yeah,
somewhere.
of course. You're dead in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your future dead self is waiting there for everybody else to come and join.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're never apart.
I know. I loved it. It made me feel all the feels. And then, wait, what another lady? See, I saw another TikTok last night that made me fucking cry because it was like a lady hugging her dog, but she was saying like we have these weird little creatures in our house, and like we think they're our soulmate and our everything, but they don't like know us as like a person. They don't know your favorite color. They don't know your fucking birthday. They don't know anything. They don't really know us, but they like love us. It's weird.
Right, because they don't know who you portray yourself as. They know who
Yeah.
you actually are.
It's so nice.
Like our
So
pets
nice.
don't love us because of how we look. They don't love us because of the things that we own. They love us
Yeah.
because we love them. And they understand, oh, this thing I feel for them, they feel for me. Cool.
I know. They just want to be snug bugs.
They want to be snug bugs.
Little shorties.
Little snore, fart-filled chunks.
Oh, I always think it's so fucking cute too because I'm like, you know how I am. I don't go anywhere without makeup on, and I'm like made up or
No,
whatever.
really?
Shh, shush. But like, I always think it's cute that like your pets don't give a fuck. Like, I can look so shitty, or when you're sick, or when you don't have any makeup on, or when you're fucking whatever. You could have whatever. You could be limping. Like, if I have a fresh leg tattoo and I'm fucking limping around the house, I'm just like the worst thing ever. And they are like, no, there's my mom. Yeah.
All I know is that dogs and cats look the most unhappiest when people try and dress them up, and they look the happiest when they've just rolled in some mud and shit and like are splashed dirt monsters.
Dogs do though get so happy after they get a bath. That's really cute because they hate the bath and they look so miserable. And then when you put them down, they're like, "I'm so fucking clean and pretty." And then they like run around and do the happiest like celebration of cleanliness and cuteness.
Right outside into a mud puddle.
I know it does. What happened? I was telling you too on the way to the movie today. It was so cute. There was this lady again on TikTok, and she had this little video. It was like a PetSmart or something. It was some gross pet store, but she was like looking at the rats, and most of them were cute. And then one of them was kind of in the corner, and it was gray, and it had like pieces of hair missing and like wounds on it, and it looked old. And she's like, "Fuck it, I'm taking the old man home." And she bought like a nice enclosure, and like they showed her a little video of her going home with a Q-tip and cleaning all of his wounds and mixing them up or fixing him up. And his name was Chonk, and she was like showing his progress and how he's, and I think it was like the 1 year, I think she did an update. She had him for a long ass time, and still has him, and her Venmo was in her bio. And this is like 3 a.m. I'm getting like emotional about this rat, and I send her $10, and in the notes I'm like, this is for Chonk, and I like put my Instagram because it said she was from Michigan, I think. So I'm like, oh, maybe maybe I'll meet her one day, I don't know, I want to pet the rat. And then she literally today made an Instagram account. She didn't even have one. She made an Instagram to DM me on an Instagram and thank me for the money for Chonk, and it was so cute. I'm like, dude, put your rat videos over here. People will love that shit. I'm like, and there's like small businesses and cute stuff on Instagram. I'm like, you should be over here. So
when you started to tell that story, it sounded like what I hope the end of my story will be like. There's this kind of like cute lady, and she saw this old man sitting in the back, and he's like missing all of his hair and covered in worms. And she was like, I'm taking that old man home. And then she like cleaned up his wounds with Q-tips and took care of him.
Give him food, and then somebody sent him food money on Venmo.
And he's still going. It's been a year. He still lives.
Wait, that's awesome. Are we adopted rats for the community?
I think so. I think we are. I think we are the adopted rats.
People send us money for like,
thanks, Pates.
Thanks, Pates. We're just garbage rats trying to survive.
Taking care of the old garbage rats here.
Oh, see, there's meaning in everything, you know? But I was saying, when I wrote her back, I was like, just thank you for being kind to little creatures, because it's really important. And then we were saying on the way to the movie too, I'm like, literally, that's all I would do if I was rich. Like, if I was a billionaire, I would go online every day, and every single one of those fucking animal stories, I'd be like, here's fucking $10,000. Have fun. Like, I would just flip out and give money to every cause I saw,
buy that old porcupine a bag of carrots. Here you go.
Oh, I know. Throw some carrots at all the deers and raccoons and fucking everything. Oh, you said a raccoon story.
Yeah, I was sitting in my family room and I heard a giant wallop on the back of my porch, and I sounded like someone was running across my back deck. And I did the complete horror movie thing you're not supposed to do, but everybody in horror movie does, which was I just stood up and turned on my back porch light and walked outside. Could be somebody out there with a machete. Nope. Walk out there, look around, couldn't see anything, walk to the side of my house, and there off in the distance in the moonlight, running away from my house, was a big fat chonk raccoon.
We both have a chunk story.
I know. And then I started thinking about the last time that happened, the police showed up. Do you remember?
No.
A raccoon fell off my back deck like a year ago, and I went outside at like 3 a.m. and was looking for him to make sure he was okay. And then I turned around and there were 3 cops standing behind me because someone called and said there was a peeping Tom at my house. And it was just me looking for the raccoon around my house.
You're fucking creep ass.
Well, they got a phone call from someone walking through my neighborhood at 3 a.m. saying there was a peeping Tom around my house, which means that when I was outside my house looking for the raccoon, there was a strange-o rando walking around my neighborhood doing fucking probably peeping Toms.
That's super gross.
Did I ever tell you that my dad beat up a peeping Tom?
I don't know if you did, but you can go ahead and tell me again.
When I was little, there was a peeping Tom peeping in my sister's room, and the police got called and the police got out there, and then before the police took him away, the police let my dad have some alone time with.
What year was it, do you think?
Probably 1978 or 79.
Yeah, see, that's like when Serial Killers was out. You can't, that's how they started. They were probably like, oh no, not having this shit in our neighborhood.
Well, that was like right around the time of the Oakland County child killers, I think, and that was in Berkeley and Ferndale and right around here.
What did your dad do to him?
I think he just punched him a few times.
Sick. Oh, wait. I'm just kidding.
Now, do you want to have a conversation about when it's okay to slap people?
No, we're not. No, I'm not doing it. Cut this out.
Do you think that's appropriate?
Cut this out. I'm going to make noise so it's not usable.
Okay, we're not going to talk about it.
Christ. Okay, so I had this thought the other day. I'm sure I'm going to say it absolutely wrong, but I feel like once I get it out, you're going to agree with me. So anyway, so you know how people say that Bigfoot is a ghost of either an old animal that lived or of cavemen, or there's several other things.
I just talked about it on Roz's show, Ghosted, that Bigfoot might be a caveman ghost.
Yeah, and it maybe not a caveman, but like a creature that we used to live or whatever. But because it's a ghost or because it's an interdimensional thing that it pops in and out, and that's why we never find a body, that whole thing, right?
Right.
So then also we think that aliens either could be ghosts or could be us in the future or could be pop in and out, same deal.
Right.
So then I was thinking the other day about UFOs specifically, like the craft. I'm like, what if the craft is like future technology and it blips in and out of here, but it's not solid. It's like a ghost of a technology or in a different timeline. And that's why we don't find a UFO on the ground, but it's like a thing, but it's not a thing yet. It's a ghost of a craft. Does that make sense?
I think I kind of understand what you're saying, maybe.
Yeah. Like if we can think about Bigfoots and aliens and whatever, like a person, why can't the craft be like pop in and out of like the physical craft? Like why can't that pop in and out of our reality? And like we're seeing a ghost, but like it's never going to crash here because it's not really solid here. Does that make fucking sense?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I understand what you're saying. All of the parts of the phenomena, whether it be ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot, whatever, all of those have the possibility of being non-corporeal, that they exist in some other dimension, realm, time, reality, or perhaps are just created thought forms, or are the images of things past or to come. If things from the past can have ghosts now, and time is irrelevant, then things in the future should be able to have ghosts in the past.
Yes, that's what I'm saying about an actual UFO. Like, what if it's like a manifestation or like a ghost of something in the future that we can't see yet, or I don't fucking know. Like imagine, like when we're talking about Bigfoot being a ghost, imagine Bigfoot has a fucking stick in his hand, and then when he's here, you don't really see him and you don't really see the stick because it's not fucking here. That's what I'm saying about the UFO. Like it's blipping in and out, but it's not really here.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying about Bigfoot.
I know, exactly. That's my fucking thing.
Wait, so that's what we're talking about the whole time. Like that's what I've been talking about for 30 years.
No, but I'm saying specifically, I've never heard anyone talk about the fact that like the craft itself could not be. Like, people think it's a solid fucking craft in the sky that's gonna fucking land. I don't think that, like, what if it's not? What if it's a ghost, like a vision of the thing, but it's not here? You know what I'm saying?
Kind of, yes.
Yes. I don't know why I thought of that the other day, but I think it's neat to think about. People listening will understand what the fuck I'm saying.
Good work, buddy.
Just Tenney pats Jessica on head. The end.
So have you gotten to
And-
the point?
and-
Have you gotten to the point where you thought that UFOs might actually be sky creatures and the ghosts of sky creatures that we haven't discovered?
What?
What if in the future or in the past, what if there were giant objects that lived in the upper atmosphere and floated around and glowed the way that fish do at the bottom of the ocean, except these float around in the upper atmosphere, and we're seeing the ghosts of them now?
Like, you mean there's not little people inside driving? They're just a thing, like a live thing.
Yeah, like if you look at cells and you look at living organisms, they sometimes look circular or disc-like.
Yeah, so like a UFO is a sky jellyfish ghost from the future.
Yes,
100%.
there you go.
Yeah, see, you're getting what I'm saying. Yes.
You're getting what I've been saying for
I know,
30 years.
I know, I know, yours is
You're
different.
just now understanding the lectures of mine you've been listening to for 10 years.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut
I knew
up. My dog
I
is
knew
on-
I'd get there. I knew I'd get there.
I'm just trying to figure it all out. I do like the sky jellyfish thing, though.
There you go.
Like that. UFOs are sky jellyfish ghosts.com.
Do you know they think on like planets like Jupiter, which Jupiter doesn't really have a planet. It has a core, but it's a gas giant.
Wait, say that again.
The planet Jupiter doesn't have it's not a solid planet. It has a solid core, but it's all gas.
So you can't like land on it. You'd go
You cannot land on Jupiter. You would go all the way to the core.
Very interesting. I did not know that.
So if there was life on Jupiter, it would naturally have to float in the atmosphere. There's no ground for it. So they would probably look very much like giant jellyfish or like space whales.
Yeah.
And they would just float around in the atmosphere.
Yeah, but if they blooped into our reality, they would look like a UFO, quote unquote UFO, whatever.
Yeah, because UFOs are always blurry and they don't look right. Yep.
This is so important.
I just like you learning that Jupiter is not a planet, that it's a gas giant.
Well, you're a gas giant.
No shit. After all that popcorn I ate at these last movies,
I know. We had hot pretzel bites.
still feeling that.
I know. We can't eat anymore. Okay, so we got to the movie mad early because we always do. And then out of nowhere, you go, let's play a game. And I think you're going to do like 20 questions or some normal fucking game. And you fucking literally out of nowhere invented the most nonsensical, crazy games.
I didn't invent them.
the
They are real games. So is high, high, low, low. That's been around the internet for many years.
I've never heard of that in my life.
High, high, low, low is I say a sentence really low, and then you say it a little bit higher, then I say a little bit higher, and we see who can go the highest. And then we say a different sentence, but we start as high as possible and we go as low as possible and see who can go the lowest.
And you decide that our sentence would be, I'm a little pigeon.
Yeah, but now I think our sentence for this round, should be, I'm a rabbit wizard. Okay, so I'll start low.
Okay.
I'm a rabbit wizard.
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 Wait, no. I'm a rabbit wizard.
I'm a rabbit wizard.
I'm a rabbit wizard.
I'm a rabbit wizard. What? You have to say the words. You can't just
I did.
make a sound.
Oh, it's going crazy. I'm sorry.
Okay, and then the next sentence is,
I want to do I'm a little pigeon again.
okay, I'm a little pigeon. Start high.
I'm a little pigeon.
I'm a little pigeon.
Oh, I'm a little pigeon.
I'm a little pigeon.
Wait. I'm a little pigeon.
I'm a little pigeon.
It's right. I'm a little pigeon.
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 We were fucking crying in the movie. How can anybody stand us?
Can you believe we were doing that in a movie theater?
Oh, listen out loud next to humans. We don't give a fuck. Okay, we have to go now. Ow. The dog's biting my finger.
That's all you got?
I think. What do you got?
Nothing. You got to get up early, don't you?
Yes, I have my fucking tattoo studio inspection tomorrow by the health department. I have to be up at fucking 9 in the morning.
All right. Well, try and get some sleep.
I know I'm gonna go to bed.
What'd you say?
I have to go to bed right now.
I have to go to bed right now.
Oh, you
I have to go to bed right now.
Okay, bye.
You sound like the worst horror movie demon ever.
You wanted to keep going in the movie theater. I'm like, I'm legitimately gonna throw up if we keep going. Okay, bye.
It's as high as I can get.